Welcome to this week's Faith Moment. I've called this Tiger Moth. You can hear a plane overhead perhaps. Tiger Moth reminds me of those biplanes that they used to use for training pilots to fly. But for me, moths have never been a particular issue until today, or last few days at any rate, because I suddenly realised that half my jumpers and half my sweat tops have got little holes in them, and apparently those are caused by moths. I absolutely pulled my wardrobe to bits this morning. Not that I've got a big wardrobe, but I suddenly realised that probably places like where I store my shoes at the base of the wardrobe hasn't been cleaned in 30 years. So I took everything out of the wardrobe and cleaned everything in sight. And thought, right, I'll go through the house and make sure everything is really clean. Needless to say, Anthea just laughs, but she wouldn't be laughing if her set of cashmere cardigans had been eaten. Boy, brother. But it's interesting. Not one thing of Anthea's has been touched, just my stuff, which shows I don't look after things. But then you've got to laugh, because 4 of my jumpers have not been touched, and they're all jumpers that I tend to wear up to the 10:30 communion on a Wednesday. So you could say, they're holy already. So you can see it's one of those gentle faith moments today. But the obvious reading to go with it is from the Beatitudes. I often think of the Beatitudes. That how did people remember all the things that Jesus said? One thing after another. How can you remember all those things and write them down? Perhaps he said them a few times, or referred to them bits at a time. I don't know. Here we are. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourself treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So perhaps all these faith moments I've done since the pandemic, nearly up to 100 of them now, perhaps these are treasures in heaven, because my heart's in them. I think about trying to produce something meaningful, humorous, basic almost, each week or every other week now. And I'm left with thinking, moths have changed me radically in a day. I shall always be thinking, there's a moth, that's going to go, it's not going to survive in this house. Whereas before, I never even used to take any notice of them. So perhaps I need to be really radical about thinking, what treasures am I storing in heaven? I need to ask the Lord, what treasures am I missing storing in heaven? It's an important issue. And then it continues, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. Do you know, you see, taking these moths or taking so many things, when you suddenly appreciate something, it changes your whole attitude to it. My eyes will always be looking out for moths now. Whereas before, I suppose I was in darkness. So my prayer is a very simple one. Lord, lighten the darkness of our minds when it comes to understanding what treasures we should be storing in heaven and what we are missing. Amen. So I'm thinking in a couple of weeks' time, I think we're on holiday, so I'll have to do something before we go. So, God bless. And the next one is going to be called Fisherman's Friend, because I've thought about it already. God bless.